So this is the wooden former that I made for the new entrance that will go between the stones. I've already explained most of it to you, but I want to put a couple of bracing straps across and ensure that it's 90 degrees. Fortunately, I've got this very handy square. I found it in the grounds of the garden, just lying on the ground, and it's strange because it's all an imperial. It was completely rusty, but I've cleaned it up and you can see all the measurements on here. So it's all in inches and thousandth of an inch all the way around. It's funny because it looks, strange enough, like it's been handmade. It obviously hasn't, but it's obviously old. So it's probably 60, 80 years old, maybe even more. And that works to set that angle there. I'm surprised there was a set square here. There's nothing square on this piece of land, so I can't imagine what they were actually using it for. You might notice that I'm using the trailer. It's the only flat base we've got here at the moment. What we've got to do now is to ensure that this doesn't move. Put a cross member all the way through. So short in that end, long in this end. Okay. Good. So I've just grabbed a hold of the camera. What I've done is I've, not really a dry fit as such, just rested it up against the outside of the entrance. And where's my tape measure gone? Who's nicked my tape measure? I had a tape measure, it's here. Okay, unless things are tied to me, I'll generally lose them. So this frame is in some sort of the right position. That's 1400. There's my measure. There's my measure of 200. And you can see I'm just reaching the stone. So that's just might need to nip a little bit more stone out of that. We'll have to see. Now that is right, so that's 220 more or less. So that means that there is 10mm tolerance for that stone to go in. For me that's still a little bit too tight, just in case there's any twist in the wood. Okay, so if we look above, you can see we're very close to the girders, we're almost level. So we're going to need to come down about 80mm. So that gives you an idea of where we're at the moment. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm setting a plumb line. So that line, as you can see, going all the way up to the top there, is sitting in the middle of that entrance. And obviously the entrance below wants to sit in the centre of that too. So if we go here, what I've done is I've marked a couple of pencil lines, and that piece of corda is just going between those lines. Just see where that plumb line is in relation to the door frame that's sitting here at the moment. So if the opening is 1.4, so I need 700 plus approximately 200. So what we're saying is it should be about 900 from where the string is, so from this point here. So from that point there to that point there is exactly 900, which makes my 1800. Okay, so that's the former in, and if we go up to the top we can see we've now got the gap. And what I've done is I've just put a spacer in here, and then when I put the finishing stone I'll just remove that spacer. So I've got one there and I've got one there, so that gives me exactly the right height for the actual former, and it's kind of stuck against the girder. So once we get up to that level we'll be able to remove the former, or remove the spacers first, use the former and then remove the former afterwards. So that gives us an 80mm gap from here to the edge of the girder, which is fine. Okay, so here we have the first stone. Is really another dry run, just to see how that fit is going. But what you will notice is the stone has changed. Look at that, it's beautiful. This is very, very smooth now. So what I've done is I'm going to show you that process in just a second. I'll stand away a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So that's 1.4 meters from top to bottom, and if I come this way you'll see that edge that we're going to see. That's lovely. But I'm going to show you how I get to that part there, because I've got the other one prepared on the table, which is here. I'm just going to turn that over in a second, and I'm going to start working on it the same as the one I've just done. But if you have a look here, it's probably not that obvious, but this is where the door frame is going to fix on the inside, and this was also the part which was cut off of here, and there was a small ridge. So what I've done is I filed down this so it's flat, and when the door frame receives that, then obviously I haven't got to do that after it's been fitted, which I may as well do it now. It just makes life a lot easier. This is the file. This is a rasp file. It's extremely aggressive, and you can probably see those teeth there. There you go. I think you see them properly now. And this is the tool for the job to get the stone into shape. So that does a really nice job, and I'll show you that working in just a second. And then what I've got here is just simple, it's 156 green sandpaper, but what this does, it doesn't clog up. That's the beauty of this, and all I'm doing is just rubbing it over the top. I won't do it too close to the camera because all you're going to hear is the sound of that going backwards and forwards. So what I'm trying to do is to finish these now. Right, so I think you can see that nicely. Yeah, you can. Right, okay, so first thing I'll do with this is, obviously you can see it's brand new stone, flat cut. That's a good thing about it because we can do what we want with it. And what I'm just going to do is use the rasp file. If it looks like I'm melting, I am. But finally starting to see the fruits of the labour here, getting this stone nicely finished off. Sandpaper is doing two jobs. It's getting it to become a more even colour. I don't want it to be perfect because otherwise it won't match in with the rest of the house. I don't mind a tiny change in colour here or there, but we're just trying to get this original colour. This is stunning, beautiful stone. Right, so I want to turn this on its end, but I want to be in the central part of the table. These are quite heavy. Now what you're starting to see here is the two pieces glued together, that one and that one, so that was the piece that came off there. Okay, and there's the join line, and what we want to do is to try and blend this two colours together and start to remove this join line the best we can. We won't get rid of it immediately right now. What we will do is be able to clean it so it starts to become more uniform together. So what I'm going to do first is use the rasp file. see the join line is here, but you can't really feel any difference there. Let me just take you along here. It's just blending into one at the moment, so that's really nice. That's exactly how I wanted it. That's the side that was bolted on, so there's your bolts. So that's flat now, ready to receive the door frame. This is the face edge coming on very nicely. Look at that, it's beautiful.
How are you doing, Steve? Gosh, this looks fabulous.
Well, not too bad actually. Strange enough, when I'm sanding this, it's coming down like a piece of marble. I know it's not
It looks like marble.
Yeah, it's Myella stone, but it really is a beautiful quality.
I mean, this is where you've joined.
That's the join, yeah. It won't disappear completely, but if you think about it, if we clean all this up and make it look like new, then it's not really what we want.
No, we don't want new, because the house isn't new. I mean, at the moment, it's so smooth.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
No, it's lovely. It's worked. The sandpaper's perfect, and the sandpaper doesn't clog up either. So all it needs is a brush down.
So you just brush this off.
Yeah, and if I take the camera off the...
Did you manage to show this vein here?
Yeah, I'm just going to walk the camera around. Okay, so just showing the stone more or less in full frame here. I'll try and be as steady as I can, but that's what I was talking about to Lynn.
This is gorgeous.
That little vein here. These markings here. That'll be a saw line years ago.
And that mark is the same mark as you said, on the other bit.
I like the discoloration.
Yeah.
This was what it would be like if it was new, and it would be too uniform for us. There's some tiny little chips and marks. I'm going to keep all of that in and just polish it in with the sandpaper. Yeah, so Lynn's just brushing off the dust, surplus dust, and as we get to the end here, you'll see that discoloration comes back again. But so the next stage on this piece of stone, so that's the next question, isn't it? So what we'll do is I can actually show you that. I'll keep the film rolling, and then obviously Lynn, if you want to ask any... No, you don't need to help me move the stone, because this is about 80 kilos.
Oh, I don't think I'll be able to do it.
But if you just stand around.
Or are you showing this other side of the stone?
Yeah, just showing the next process, but just let me move it, because this is really, really heavy.
I'm not going to speak.
Right, obviously, now we've done the surfaces, we need to protect it with the cardboard. What I was showing earlier, Lynn, is... Do you remember this cut line? It was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it was.
It's all flat now.
Yeah,
just with that.
And that's just with that.
Just going over with that rasp file like that. Just using see how much stone it takes off straight away. So what we've got
obviously this is the internal bit, all of this.
Yeah, so this is the internal part. You will not see any of this. So if I find my steel, I'll show you how this is.
Is it this steel here? Really, I should mention it has been baking today.
Yeah, it's been.
When we say baking, it's been in the 40 degrees.
Yeah. So right, we can see that nicely now. Lovely, great. Okay, so this here is 8mm rebar, and that's what's going to hold these, anchor them into the wall. I've got to decide how many we put on, because we don't need too many. These are going to sit in something like that. Too long at the moment, so I'm going to cut them down, probably down to there, and then I'm going to sink that much into the stone and then chemical it in, but that needs to be at an angle.
And that's actually in the joint though, Steve?
Well, it's going to be to the side of the joint.
Right, okay.
It's actually going to be in the bigger part of the stone, not this part.
Right.
That's the more delicate part.
I wondered about that.
So that's only going to sink in about 30 millimetres.
Right.
Okay, so this is what we wanted to do, get these two spigots in, and they'll anchor into the wall when I do the final cementing joint. Just going to chemical those in, and just make sure that they are going in pretty straight. That's okay. You may see that I marked the pencil line lower, but it's in line with that joint, so I've moved it up a little bit. And the reason why I haven't done it the same distance from the top as the first one is because if we end up having to chop any of this away to put in a footstone, we might leave it as it is, but we might have to chop part of it away. And what I don't want to do is to chop part of it away with that steel in the way, because that's going to be difficult to do. So I'll get that well out of the way, still an anchor point, good anchor point, and yeah, so I'll mix up some chemical and you can watch me put them in. Okay, so they're just bonding. They're sticking out about 5 or 6 inches. Plenty of grip to get inside that wall, but not enough so I have to take more of that wall away to get that any further in. I don't need to do that. No fine finish in here. Don't see any of this when it's done. So we'll just leave it as it is. It's probably going to start going off in a minute. The heat has been crazy today, so any compound glues are going to be going off very, very quickly. The first stone completely finished. Yeah, completely finished at the moment. These are coming out at 45 degrees, so that's going to go into the wall at 45 degrees. I can't really see that I've got anything else to do on this at the moment. And what I'm going to do is the other stone I prepared is over here. I'm going to grab that, put it on the bench and do exactly to that what I've just done to this. So there's no point in me showing it to you again. It's just going to be repetition. The next point of what you'll see is doing another dry fit and also dealing with the wall opening. I'm about 6mm over to the right hand side at the moment, so I just need to move the whole lot just over so I'm perpendicular in the middle of the doorway above. Right, okay, so I think you can see the bottom spigot, and yeah, solid. That's not going to move. So that's in. Okay, so we've got the former, the wooden former in the middle in exactly the right position now, more or less anyway. Let's just take a little close look, see what we've been doing. We've dry fitted the first two stones, so they are ready now to fit properly. The first one on the left is in perfect position, and the one on the right just needs a little bit of movement to get it to be parallel. Now, the important thing here is to get this stone overlapping the outside wall by between 12 and 15 mil. But although the stone might be straight, the wall might not be, so we need to have a little bit of tolerance by going down to the bottom. How I'm going to do this is I've put a straight edge, a perfectly straight edge, which is this part here. This here, this is 4 meters long, and that takes me from the base fixed against the stone flat all the way, and then all the way up the wall, all the way to the next floor. And what I'm trying to do is establish the same gap, that gap here. So what I need that to do is be more or less all the way following up the opening upstairs. Right, so I've come up the ladder, so that's the top of the first stone, and the next part, which is important to get this measurement right here, because this lip here is going to sit inside that face stone. So all that face has to sit here of that stone. So if you look that way, it's a little bit complicated this. If we look that way, that measurement between the face of the girder and this straight edge that I've brought up needs to be about 80mm. So I think we're on the money there. So that's okay. So that looks good to go. And the first things we need to do now, once I get these two stones in, make the other ones, obviously we'll be getting on with the job nicely. That's the other side. So everything's ready to go there too. Yeah, the first job we're going to be doing is right at the base. So I'll go back down off the ladder. And we're going to concentrate on this area here. I'll just put the... we're going to concentrate on this area here. What I need to do is make a nice footpad for this stone to sit on perfectly straight so it lands in this position. But what I'm going to do is just throw a few markers out there so this stone goes back exactly where it is now, so that we don't offset anything above, because if you're 1mm down here out, guaranteed up the top you're going to be 10 to 20mm out. Right, so the next stage was to make a couple of footpads for the stones to sit on. So what I've done is I've set a couple of stones in the ground. They're connected to the foundation below. There's a metre deep foundation there of solid concrete, so that's not going anywhere. It's level, as you know. I like my level, and that's level to go onto the other footpad. So I've done them all at the same time, so that when these stones were just sitting ready to go in, when this cement has gone off a little bit, which won't take much in this heat, then I'll start to set both of these stones in, which will probably be shortly. Right, I've put the camera inside the house, on the other side of the new entrance, and you can basically see, amongst the cobwebs, where the metal bar, this one here at the bottom, is going to fix into the wall. We're going to start building back properly with blocks, but that's our line. This is where our wall comes to. Building all the way up here now, so it probably looks more work than it actually is, because obviously what we'll do is start knocking these ones out. Okay, so the next stage is done. That's the stones filled in the back behind the framing stones, and that's on both sides. That's gone in pretty well. You can see I've been taking some of the stones away, so the gap's getting a little bit larger and larger, but I'm not going any further than that until those next two are done above, which is there and there. I'm just going to take the camera around and I'll show you where we're up to. Right, this is the right hand side, from the bottom all the way up, and you can see they're not going anywhere, nicely tucked into the wooden former. This is the left hand side, and again pretty much identical to the right hand side, and all nicely cemented in all the way up. Okay, so obviously that leaves that raw edge up there to sort out, which we'll run through with you. This is the state of the next two stones. So there's the next one. That's a bit long at the moment, so I've got to cut it down, but I need two pieces out of that. So one small short length and one longer length, and that'll match with what we're doing upstairs. This is the second one, the same, identical as the one I've just shown you, and again that needs cutting down. So that's ready to bolt together and glue together. So that'll be the next job, and obviously what we'll be doing is putting spigots in the end to go into locating holes on top of the stone here. So here and here somewhere we'll put in a couple of locating holes, and what that'll do is to be able to ensure that that butts up against that surface, hopefully nice and flat. I'm just doing a dry fit on the second two stones. They're not glued together yet with the inside piece, but what I can do is just make sure that they line up nicely on a flat surface with the second one. This one's just sitting back a little bit, if you look.
Just come in a little bit closer, Steve, just see.
Yeah, if you come around here, just sitting, actually.
Let's swap place.
That's just sitting back slightly. So all I need to do is to pull that forward.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah.
Like that. So it'll sit in the right position.
Wow, it looks amazing.
The edges are clean, it's the same width. And both sides, so I won't disturb them too much because they're balancing at the moment. But it just shows you they're nicely in.
No, it's great.
And then the most important thing really here is that these two are level. The reason why they don't go up to the top is because they've got a detail in here.
Yes.
And then they've got another piece of this stone which is already cut, waiting to go between that point there and that point there.
Okay.
So that goes on there. And if you look at the bubble in the middle.
Let me see if I can get into that. I'm not sure whether I can get quite as close to that bubble as I would like. Maybe you can. You're taller.
What you do is just do that.
Oh no, you've got it.
Okay, so that's the level on the stones at the moment. And what has to happen is that obviously that has to all stay level now.
Oh, it looks fabulous.
For that cross stone, so that gives you the join that we're going to end up there. Here, somewhere here. So that'll be a filled, tiny bit of filler in that, just to leave the, just to roll the edges over here, and then that'll match what's happening with the rest of the house.
And the good thing is you can see that it's actually fitting perfect to your former that you had created.
Yeah, no, that's taking time. I've been called anal. But if you do things anally...
Who's called you anal?
Oh, I wouldn't like to say.
Ah.
Somebody we know.
I just thought you looked like, I don't know, a Pillsbury dough person covered in flour.
I'm not accusing you of it, somebody else.
Are you covered in flour, or is it icing sugar, or is it just stone dust?
Let me tell you, it doesn't feel quite as good as
I tell you what, there's a tiny little breeze coming through now, although it's about 40 degrees at the moment where Steve's working.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to take these back off because these are down.
Okay.
They're a little on the heavy side, so.
Right, should I video taking them off?
That's good for a laugh.
Now this is not so easy, is it?
No, because you don't want to put all the weight on one corner of the stone.
Right. So as you can see, Steve's removing this. This was just literally the dry situation to show that it fits the way he wants it to. I shouldn't really be speaking because he's got a lot of weight in his hand, as you could see.
This is the left side, isn't it?
Left, yeah.
Okay, so I've just finished the second two stones, the ones that go on top of these that are already fitted in, and I'm just doing a dry fit. I've already put it in and I'm going to video it coming out. See how that goes.
It's very neat, isn't it, Steve? You've got it really in alignment.
That ain't going to happen.
It's a very good fit, obviously.
Yeah, it's a good fit. I can't get the purchase upwards.
So, I was about to say, does that mean you have to stand on something? Would it be better to get a box? I think it might have to stay up there, will it?
Bills.
I hope you've got that on film. I think you should have that on film. People will be wondering where you got your shoes and your t-shirt from.
Yeah, it's a good outfit, isn't it?
Great outfit.
It's a good outfit. Nothing actually is...
Yeah, but those boots, at least have got a hard toe cap, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, I've just got to mix up some...
Make up?
It's just going to take 2 seconds. So this one goes on first because this dries, takes longer to dry.
So what, this is like a special glue?
This is just the base glue to give it a waterproof and a nice seal.
Right, so this is the proper sealant. You know all of the little bits of the dust, when I say the dust,
Like that.
will you be putting that in between where the crack is?
Yeah, you know, if it needs it.
Right.
Depends how good that joint is, and it seems quite good. This sealant is going to do.
Should we move can we move the ladders out of the way so the camera can just see what you're just doing at the moment, maybe? We'll be returning the ladders to where they were shortly.
Right, so I'm just getting that, I've just zoomed in so we can see that sealant going in.
Yeah.
But I've got 2 holes I've got to fill up with this chemical.
Okay.
And that's going to, once that's in, as in.
Oh, permanently, do not remove.
I can't move it.
Okay.
So it's in.
So this, is this the chemical?
Yeah.
It looks sort of grey, putty colour.
Yeah, it sits like rock though. But I don't want to get it in between the stones because all it'll do is leave a raise in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you only. So what you're saying is you have to put a thin layer of this.
No, this needs to go in the hole.
Oh, in the actual hole.
But not over the top because it'll leave it'll go off like rock. And it'll leave a surface.
How did you know about all of this?
Well, most of it's guesswork.
Really?
Well, pretty much, yeah. Why not? I mean, you just got to get on and do it and find the products through.
Well, you do.
Sorry if I'm rushing.
You did the research. You're rushing because
My chemical's going off.
Right. Okay.
So I'll take you back.
And now you're going to lift that stone. We might hear a lot of grunts at the moment, everybody.
Quite well, as long as I don't drop it, and as long as I get it in quick enough. Oh God! Oh jeepers!
Oh, nice. Come on, Steve, don't let the chemical go off. Rush. Everybody, this is not speeded up film. This is Steve actually going faster.
Yeah, I don't normally work this fast.
Normally it's piano.
Lynn will tell you.
Yeah, normally it's piano in this weather, and we're actually quite lucky because, you know, it's mid-afternoon now, but it's still 38 degrees.
Right, so just got to give that a little shimmy. Has anybody seen my glasses? Yeah. I need to get that.
I liked how you said, has anybody seen? I mean, the people in the, you know, that watching this, they could have scanned around.
Well, they can help me as well.
Yeah, they could have scanned around.
They can help me.
Comments if you spotted Steve glasses.
That couldn't be straight up.
Oh no, that's superb.
That's lucky.
It's actually fabulous. It looks great.
And that?
I can see, which is what the camera can't see, I can see the entrance of the stonework above. And this is just incredible, what you've actually created here, Steve.
Just need to keep that in there. Just pass me a hammer, Lynn.
I will pass you a hammer. You may see my hand.
Alright, okay.
You may have noticed Button's not really in these shots at this moment in time due to the fact that it's too hot and she's hiding.
And she'd stress out.
She would.
Watching me stress out.
Do you think so?
Trying to get this, she
well,
would.
Probably if you're grunting, she probably definitely
She would wonder what was going on.
Bad enough when I hear you grunt.
Oh, easy.
Tiger. Nice. You know what? It's much better when you do these things because you've got all of your tools around you, not like me when I make a cheesecake.
No, I'll make sure I go. The problem is when you've got the chemicals and stuff like that, you don't have a second chance with it.
No.
Once it's in, it's in. And if you've messed it up, then you're going to do it again. And that chemical, that would mean machining it out.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't be able to get it out. It's stronger than the rock.
So, this is now the right hand side.
Yeah, just got to clean up a little bit here.
So this is what I was saying. Would you now get this dust that you've got with a paintbrush and just dust a bit in?
No, not yet.
Right.
Not yet, because what we're doing is we're matching the surface in now. So this is a piece of 2/3 P40. This is the kind of thing you get on a belt sander, but an industrial one. And I got this from the antique rigatari. And this is so expensive. And we got it for about €5. Fantastic, and it doesn't hold the dust in it.
Did you get a lot?
Enough to do everything.
Oh, brilliant!
But he knew I knew what it was,
right.
And he didn't want to sell it, and it was quite funny. And eventually, I bundled a couple of things together, and I put that on it, and he laughed.
Why? Because he knew that you wanted it.
Yeah. I told him what I needed it for. And
so now, people probably have been wondering why your gloves look the way that they do. And now we know.
It's hard work.
It's hard work and hard standing.
There's a bit of a difference in colour, but I'm really not worried about that. That's not a problem.
But there's a difference in colour in the one above anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be differences. You're never going to get the Maella stone. It's thousands of years old, and it changes colour through
as it comes from the quarry.
As it comes from the quarry.
Yeah.
It's not like marble, but it's funny because when you look at it, you think there is some parts that remind you of marble.
Well, there's some markings on the piece here on the left.
Yeah.
And even that one there.
Yeah.
Underneath.
I like it. It's nice. Right, we'll get the camera on there. If you can take the camera off and bring it in, you know how to do it, don't you? And
okay, so I'm going to be zooming in.
Just watch where you're walking.
Yep, I am watching.
So what I'm looking for is to show the inside there.
Oh, okay.
So that from top to bottom. And if you can hang on the level up there, just to show it's level, so you're looking for it in that screen.
Oh, nice little shot there.
Right, so I've just prepared the second stone, if that makes sense. I think I forgot to show you the spigots coming out the end. So these are going to join in. You might have caught it on camera, but I didn't talk about it. So these have been chemicaled in, and they'll locate into two holes on top, just to fit it, and then we'll put some waterproof glue around here, and then the whole thing sandwiches together.
How far do they go into the stone, Steve?
Inch and a half. What's that? About 34 mil, 35 mil. That's enough. That's all that needs to be. Probably a bit too much, to be fair. They're just locating pins, and what they'll do is they'll keep that while it's setting. They'll keep it perfectly even with the outside and level and everything else. So
I understand. So now, are we ready now to lift this one?
So we're going to do a dry fit in. Okay.
First.
Yeah. Careful how you fall over it.
Yep.
We're not gluing in yet. We're just doing the dry fit.
The dry fit, the last one, went in really well, but getting it out wasn't so easy, was it?
Well, you know, we did it. So I didn't say this job was going to be easy.
No. I mean, you said we did it, but actually you did it.
Yeah. Well, nothing is easy about this. So.
You can see how heavy this is, but then it's not as heavy as the big one at the bottom, is it?
Well, I can't do that without. And rubbing two bits of stone together, you can imagine what can happen.
Don't speak, Steve. Concentrate.
They can actually crack. I don't want it to fall down. I want it just to push back. Oh, what's stopping me? Is stopping me. Right, okay, I've got it. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, right. You see that? That spigot's just in the wrong place. So it needs to tap in one way or the other. Because I can't push it back any further.
Right.
So it's not a mistake particularly, it's so difficult to get them in exactly because there's no movement on that whatsoever. So that means the hole, in fact I won't move the spigot, I'll make the hole bigger.
And then if you make the hole bigger, it'll give it a little bit of movement.
Because you're putting chemical in there anyway.
Right, and at the moment, as you say, this is the dry run.
Yeah, but I won't do another dry run.
No.
Because start picking this up and down all day long and you'll know about it at the end of the day.
Okay.
I'll be drinking a bottle.
Now, should I video you taking this out? Because this is the heavy bit.
I can't get it out, can I? I've just realised I was having problems getting it in, so if you just hold on there with the camera.
I shall.
I've got to knock a piece of stone out. That's what was giving me jip on the way in.
Okay, so as you can see, Steve's going around inside the house, so inside the entrance. Because obviously there's a little bit of stone that's in the way.
There's a tiny, tiny bit of stone here, just. Stopping me from raising it parallel to the spigots. That makes sense. And of course it doesn't want to come out. That'll do it.
Ladders are needed. I'm just going to move out the way a little bit because obviously this is a bit of a tricky spot.
I just don't want to put it on the scaffolding face down.
No.
Because it'll mark it.
And you got a spider hanging from your cap. You know, we've had a lot of wildlife and insects here this week. So, you know, spiders nothing.
Right, so I'm just going to open up that hole quickly.
Uh-huh.
And
so just make it a little bit bigger than it was. And obviously that's the right hand hole.
well, I'm going to do both of them. Now, believe it or not, I am going to do another dry fit.
You are?
I am, because if that chemical goes in...
Oh, once the chemical goes in, that's it, isn't it? So another dry fit. Getting ready, everybody.
Doing this, which I really don't want to do. Jesus Christ. I probably shouldn't have needed a dry fit then, should I?
Because you've done it. Yeah, that looks good.
Now, strangely enough, I think I did need it.
Did you?
Because that has to move this way. Now, that hole is on its end. Oh, it's always one. I'll get that in there. What I just need to do is to see if that'll shimmy over.
Yeah, it did move. Fraction. Now this is the
Same thing.
same thing.
Just getting that on the edge so it splurges out and
Nice.
it gives it a nice base to sit on as well.
Oh yeah.
But what you don't want to do is fill the whole thing up because it's got to go somewhere.
And you
So-
don't want it to ooze out.
So you want it about halfway fill. And
Okay.
that, so that's quite a deep hole. And then that is a guesstimate, which is
Good.
about right.
Now we're ready to lift the stone again.
We're going to fit the stone right now. So
Okay, I'm just going to move to one side for
no
you.
messing around here. I haven't dropped one of these yet.
I wouldn't say too much.
Blimey, blimey, blimey. Wow.
I think that was a blimey, Steve. Steve has got other t-shirts, but for whatever reason he likes this one.
Yeah, I was hoping to get sponsored by Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy shirts, but...
What, to say that this has been the most used t-shirt you've ever worn?
They have not contacted me yet.
No, I don't think you're an influencer with that t-shirt on by any means.
I think I am.
Do you think so?
Yeah. This is all the rage.
All the rage. I mean, several times I've threatened to throw this t-shirt away or use it as rags. And I've been told if I was to do that, it would be just so bad for me.
Right, as you remember, we have to wedge this over slightly.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting the picture.
Now, that means if I do wedge it, I have my glasses.
Yeah.
Right, so that is going to be going off, and just come on the other side.
I will.
Right, so let's just proud this side. Mm-hmm. There you go. That is that. Nice. Might as well get it right.
Well, you only want to do this one once, don't you? I mean, this is not kind of a thing that you're going to dismantle.
You just want to come out. It's funny because it's...
As it comes out, it might move on to the opposite side.
Well, once we've set it, you might have to stick a stone just to... That's on the money.
Well, you've got your glasses on, so that does help.
Yeah, so this needs to come out and that needs to go in, but
It must be the tiniest fraction.
Yeah, it's that. That's what it is. It's exactly what I just did. Mm-hmm. That is now. I mean, the stones are not, milling machine perfect.
No, but they look great. I mean, at the moment, this is looking fabulous. I'm really impressed with your work, Steve.
Yeah, great, thanks.
10 out of 10.
In this weather.
We're having a barbecue later tonight. Well, Steve and I and Button.
Right, so you see that little gap?
Oh yeah, fraction.
You don't see it unless you put that straight edge up against it. Now, I don't know whether I can close that up. We'll give it a go. So, let's put the level back, because we're now working even more so than the former.
Okay.
What I need is for this to do that. And there, that gap closes up.
Oh, okay, the clamp.
Irwin, it's called. So that wants to do that against the frame. Nope, wrong way. That wants to do that against the frame. Start again.
Ah, yeah, that direction.
And you can see.
Yeah, got it.
See that?
Yeah.
So that movement just brings it in flat. Because you never hold it. You'll always go back, but that.
So we've got.
Right, so
this
now
little stone there to help.
We're countering this edge against this edge at the moment. That's good enough. Just a quick dink. Probably just finish it off. Yes.
Good.
Cool. It's in relation to the horizontal stone.
Okay.
God, I've never rushed so much. Right, so we know that's vertical. And
yes.
It's got to be under 80mm. 78 millimetres.
Oh wow, brilliant.
I know you can't see that, but
no.
I'm not lying. That's what it is.
78, and you wanted it under 80.
Not over 80, because that's the thickness of the stone, and that wouldn't be good enough.
Right, okay.
But under 80 is perfect. So this is actually going in okay. The only thing I would say about this wall, the house wall, which I'm going to show you, and that's what...
Should I hand the camera to you?
No, this is what we're dealing with. Where's the bubble?
Oh yeah, so the bubble has shifted.
That's the angle of the house wall.
Right.
The original house.
Yes.
I haven't done that. That is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But then again...
But the door frame has to be upright and perfectly level, because otherwise the door is going to swing open one way or the other.
And the door's not going to hang properly, is it?
It's not going to hang properly.
Okay.
So we're making sort of in between the mean average. So we're taking between the angle wrong here and the angle wrong here of the house.
Okay.
And going somewhere in between, but obviously this has to be equal to that one over there. So this is the problem when you're doing this. Well, this is the problem I found. So look, you can see that the stone is following up.
Yeah, the stone is level. That's what you're saying.
And then the last one is to the eye. Just do the eye, you know, go walk a distance away, because none of the stonework is perfect. So if I do something that's perfect,
I'm going to walk away actually and see if I can get a better angle.
It's going to look irregular.
I think I might have to go above Steve just to... You can actually now see Steve sanding that section. And if I move, I don't know whether you can see... I think you can see the door frame there. But I'm going to move further back and then you can see the alignment with the one that Steve did earlier. Okay. Don't know whether I can get high enough up to see both, but there's the one above and there's the one below that Steve's working on. So if you remember, the one above got shifted over to the right so it was centred, and the one below is the complete new one which was never there before, and there had been a window slightly to the left of where Steve is standing.
Okay, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week's vlog. What you can see behind me is we've got two sets of stones, one on the left, one on the right, cemented, chemicaled, glued, you name it, fixed in to the original part of the house. So the entrance is coming on a treat. If you like what you've seen, if you can subscribe, that's going to be hugely grateful from Lynn and I. We want to grow the channel, and that's how we're going to do it with subscribers, and we'd appreciate that. If you can ding the bell, tick the like box, that would be great also. And you can look forward to the next vlog of this part, where I finish off the top pieces and then go across the top, and that'll be the framing of the entrance completely done. That'll be moving on to the edges, making good around, which I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to go on the inside and finish all that off. So we'll see you next week. Bye bye.